lived in the house we live in now for about 9 years. Before that, we both rented flats separately. If you rent now, or you've ever rented in the past, you will know that if something breaks in your rented place, you tell the person responsible who does nothing at all, and you learn to live without the thing. That's right, isn't it? When you own somewhere, though, you're responsible. My husband had this great idea when we first moved in together. I have like a rolling jobs list to document on his computer of all the things that needed doing to the house. Some of those things we could do ourselves. Some of those things he would need to ring a bigger boy who would come and do it for us. And one day he shared the document with me. He said, just in case you want to add any jobs to the list. So I scrolled right to the bottom and I just wrote cunnilingus. And he spotted it. He said, yeah, as long as you don't mind a Polish handyman coming to do it. And I said, not at all. He said, to be fair, it's sort of already on the list. It's just under clearing the gutters. But I've been married a long time, different men. Let's move on. And thinking a bit about relationships, I've got a theory, see if you agree with this. My theory is that most relationships are made up of one person who does chores as they see them arise, and another person who needs to be asked to do chores. Would you agree with that? Yeah? So I'm the doer in our family. My husband will do anything I ask, but does often need to be asked. So I found a way around this. If this is helpful in your relationship, please use it. I do not mind. What I do is I make every chore a challenge. So I say to him, bet you can't bring in all the shopping from the car in one go. And he goes, of course I can. He does it, and I tick it off my list. Hooray! I say, I bet you can't empty the dishwasher in less than 2 minutes. And he goes, I bet I bloody can. I use a stopwatch to make it more fun for him, you know. It's basically like a really domestic version of the Crystal Maze, where I am Richard O'Brien, or Richard Ayoade if you're very young, and my husband is in a big glass sphere. Also in the sphere is a washing machine and a tumble dryer. Against the clock, to win another month of marriage, he has to take clothes out of the washing machine and deduce whether or not they can be tumble dried. And it's not as straightforward as looking at the label, because nobody knows what the fucking symbols mean. There's only one symbol we all know, and I think the reason it's universal is because it's so damn important, and that's the hand one. We all know the hand one, don't we? Because that means wave goodbye to your lovely top, because it's about to get fucking shrunk. Oh, the venue asked me to read something aloud to you at the very start of the show, and I totally forgot, so let's do that now. Obviously, we live in a slightly different world now, as we all know, so let's just read this, get it out of the way, and then we can crack on with the jokes. So this is from the venue. Warning. This show contains moderate swearing, sexual references, and some upsetting scenes. That's a great response. That's why we came. I've noticed fairly recently that some compliments are shit. So compliments are supposed to make you feel nice, right? Some of them start really well, and then partway through they just fucking turn on you. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine said, I like your hair, and I was all ready to say, oh, thanks very much. And she said, like that? What the fuck does that bit mean? So you thought it looked shit yesterday, bitch? Is that what you're saying? All I'm suggesting is that we start shortening our compliments. Next time you're paying somebody a compliment, if partway through they're smiling, back the fuck away, you've done your job. You give 2 examples. You could say, you look great, and don't bother adding on the end, for your age. Or you could say, that feels amazing, and don't bother adding on the end, considering the lack of girth. It's one of the reasons I named my show Bobby Dazzler. I should explain, though. When I first named my show Bobby Dazzler, I genuinely thought it was a universally understood term. It is fucking not. I did a show in Iceland. In Iceland. Yes, the country. Who said that? The country? Yes, the fucking country. Didn't even shout it out, just sort of whispered it to your friend. The country. Yes, the fucking country. You know, she did 2 nights in Dartford and then just a freezer shop the next day. It was really weird. Did a show in Reykjavik in Iceland, and 100% of the audience thought Bobby Dazzler was the name of my support act. When I brought somebody else out, they were all like, oh, Bobby must have COVID. But if you don't know the term Bobby Dazzler, it's a really pure compliment. It's lovely, yeah. If somebody calls you one, it just means you look excellent or you are excellent. That's it. Also, I don't think there are many compliments that can equally describe a child in new wellies who's a Bobby Dazzler. And a brand new erection. Now that is a Bobby Dazzler. Boy-oy-oy-oy. Boy-oy-oy-oy. Wah-wah-wah-wah. Wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-wah-wah. But we all had to start buying stuff online, didn't we? One of the things I had to start buying online was sanitary towels. Give me a woof, you more of a tampon kind of gal? Yeah. Anybody like a sanitary towel? Anybody favour a moon cup? Yeah, a couple of people. I don't think my husband definitely knows what moon cups are, because I mentioned them to him and he went, mooncup.com. It's not a really clever way they found of you being able to send some menstrual blood to your Auntie Jenny for her birthday. Oh, look, it says you can personalise it. Let's write Jenny and all the clots. But I think we're loyal to brands that we like. I could spot the kind of sanitary towel I've always used at 100 yards and a super drug. That's the sort of test you should be doing at the fucking optician. I'd have nailed that. Do I know what they're called when I have to type them into a computer? Do I shite? I went on the Boots app. And I thought, how many different kinds of sanitary towels can there possibly be? Turns out, a bazillion. And they all have sort of key words on them, like discreet, sensitive, pro-fresh, instant dry, and long. And I thought, yes, I'll have all of those things, please. Turns out it's very much an either-or situation. I thought, who is choosing between these things? Would you like them to be discreet? No, I don't mind if people can tell. Would you like them to be sensitive? No, I don't mind if me fanny's red raw. Would you like them to be pro-fresh? No, I don't mind if I smell of roadkill. Would you like them to be instant dry? No, I prefer to be always wet. I like to feel like I've either just pissed myself or I'm super turned on. Would you like them to be long? No, as long as it covers the spout. I don't know what it's called. One thing I didn't know is that sanitary towels are now sized, and I don't mean the size of the pad itself, I mean the size of the person wearing it. And I thought, oh my God, we as women get judged on so many different things. And now I'm about to be judged on the size of me twat. It's a matter of time before Grazia's telling us what size twat is fashionable next spring. But there is good news for the fatties amongst us, because it is based solely on the size of your thigh gap. Gap, gap, gap. What fucking gap? I've barely got a knee gap. Although there was a moment fairly recently when I thought I might actually have a thigh gap. I walked past a mirror in brown knickers and there was a chink of light between my thighs and I thought, fucking hell, I have got a thigh gap. On closer inspection, it was a bit of silver foil of a two-stick Kit Kat. My thighs are flush against each other as suspected. I once caught a fork between my thighs in a restaurant. I think whatever you've got down there, you shouldn't be judged on the size of it. That's not fair, is it? Having said that, you know how men with big dicks, give us a cheer. No, don't. You know how men with big dicks sometimes use lube? Do men with small dicks use chalk? It's a good question, isn't it? There's a man the other day said, no talc. Genuinely wasn't expecting somebody to answer. And also, talc has a different image to me, because talc's like that. Why am I thinking chalk like a fucking snooker cue? Blow on that, will you, love, before we get cracking. Just blow on it. always get annoyed by my period. I've had my period for over 30 years. I've never wanted children, not a moment, not a flicker. I'm sure a lot of you have got kids and you're having a great time with them, and that's smashing for you. It's not for me. It's not for me at all. The best way I can describe how annoyed I get every time my period starts is like this. Imagine you've got a friend at work. She's called Deborah. She's great. Deborah's got a rabbit hutch, and every month she cleans it out. Puts fresh bedding in, fresh water in the water bottle, fresh food in the food bowl. Looks spotless, amazing, spick and span. And you say to her, Deborah, are you ever going to get a rabbit? And she goes, nah, I fucking hate them. That's what periods are to me. I feel like I'm making up the guest bedroom for a visitor that will ruin my fucking life. Enjoy your new baby, madam. Do you also have very heavy periods? Not today, not any danger in the front row there. I wouldn't do that to you. Do you have very heavy periods? You know the old saying, it's like trying to get blood out of a stone? I think they should update that. I think it now should be, it's like trying to get blood out of a mattress topper. In a hotel. To my very heavy periods. I feel like at the beginning of my period, it's quite tricky to explain this. At the beginning of my period, it's a little bit like my arse is in competition. Well, some of you already know what I mean. That's good, that's helpful. It's a little bit like my arse is going, oh, are we having a big clear out?
I'll have a big clear out as well if that's all right.
Nothing could shock me. Nothing could shock me. If I turned around, looked down that toilet, there was a dead rat just floating, I'd be like, sure, makes sense. The cast of The Walking Dead just climbing out. The girl off the ring popping up over the side. Sometimes I look down that toilet, it looks like the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. I did say there would be some upsetting scenes. Hello, I'm Sarah Millican, and my brand new show, Late Bloomer, is out now to stream and download from my website, sarahmillican.co.uk. It's also available on DVD.